What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I'm trying to be a lot more active on my Instagram. So basically what I did was a Q&A on my Instagram. I opened it up for you guys to send in questions, but this Q&A is all related to pregnancy topics. And I'm not gonna lie, there was a ton of questions that you guys sent in. Some questions that were repeated over and over and over. So I tried to choose those, and I could have gone with the rated G, like your favorite part of pregnancy, and like really simple questions, but I really wanted to do a TMI edition. Some of these questions I cannot believe that I'm about to answer on camera, but you guys know that I always like to keep it real with you. So with that being said, I picked the top 10 scandalous or most asked questions, and yeah, we're just gonna jump into it. I'm sorry if I'm really out of breath for this video. I am currently 7.5 months pregnant. Baby is expected to be here in about 50 days, which is insane, you guys. I feel like I've been pregnant for literally 2 months. I got pregnant in September, but it flew by so fast. So 50 days and the baby will be here. I will give you guys a little bit of like a little bump update at the end of this video so you can see what it looks like. Right now, only the top of this shirt is snapping up, and I would like to say that I've gone through my entire pregnancy with only 3 pieces of maternity clothing, and they're all leggings. So I know I am proud of myself because I just personally don't think that maternity clothing is that cute. A lot of you guys have been asking for a maternity clothing haul or what to wear when you're pregnant to look cute. That's a really hard video for me to film because I get super out of breath and I'm sweating like crazy right now just sitting here, barely moving, talking to you guys. So I really don't know how I could come out with a fashion video right now, but I have some things in the works. I'm kind of brainstorming a way that I can put that together for you guys. But anyway, we are just going to jump into these 10 questions. Holy crap, where's my water? The struggle. Oh my god, it's like such a real struggle. Okay, so the first question is, are you trying natural birth without medications? Now I'm gonna say, for the longest time when I pictured myself being pregnant, I wanted to be that woman that was going to be a rock star, that was gonna go into labor, that didn't need an epidural, that didn't need any type of pain medications. But now that I'm pregnant, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I want all the help that I can get. With that being said, I am only 5'3". My husband is 6'1" with a big old head, and I have a big old head too. And my baby is measuring big. So our doctor pretty much guaranteed us that the baby is going to be well over 8 pounds. I don't know what that means. I don't know if the baby's gonna be around 9 pounds, over 9 pounds, but she did tell us that the baby is measuring big and it's definitely going to be a big baby. And that, yeah, it did freak me out a little bit. We are taking Lamaze classes as well as first-time parent classes, and we're learning so much about the options. I did not know that you could choose to either have pain medications or you could choose to have an epidural, and that pain medications, I guess, go through your bloodstream and the baby gets a little bit of those chemicals. And with the epidural, it does not affect the baby at all. Even though epidural is like a really, really heavy duty, more serious type of way to treat the pain, it does not affect your baby at all. So right now, I definitely am leaning more towards getting an epidural. With that being said, I have a good amount of friends that wanted to go and get an epidural when they were ready to give birth, and my mother as well. And something happened where either they showed up too late, or in my mom's case, she actually showed up at the hospital too early. They turned her away, and by the time she came back, it was then too late. And you can't get the epidural because it won't have enough time to kick in, or whatever the logistics of it was. So I do know a lot of people that did give natural childbirth and they did get through it. And I feel like I would be absolutely devastated if I got there and they're like, okay, you can't get an epidural, you need to do this all on your own. So I want to get an epidural, and I'm hoping and praying that everything goes smoothly and I'm able to do so. Like I said, even in the class that we're taking, they told us to prepare just in case, even if you're 100% set on having pain medication or an epidural, that sometimes it is not a possibility. So just have that in the back of your head so that you don't flip out. So mentally, I'm trying to prepare for that. Okay, the next question is food, smells, or things that you cannot stand now because of pregnancy? All right, so I know what you guys are saying, like that's a pretty like G-rated question, but I'm gonna tell you guys something that I feel is gonna make you guys look at me a little bit differently, but whatever. I wanna be 100% honest with you guys. So as far as foods and smells, the only thing that really turned me off during my pregnancy is the smell of like red meat, like carne molida or like hamburgers or ground beef. For some reason that smell, like it will instantly make me want to throw up. And also when I'm washing dishes, the smell of wet food in a sink, specifically eggs and rice. Like I don't know if you guys know what I'm talking about, because that was a smell that I never noticed like before I was pregnant washing dishes. And now anytime that there's like wet rice and I have to like clear out the drain, or wet eggs in the sink, oh my god, you guys, it bugs me out so much. This is the part that I feel like there might be a little bit of judgment, but sometimes when you're pregnant, you just really strongly dislike certain people. This was something that my mother told me, that back in the day when she was pregnant with me, that she just hated her uncle for absolutely no reason. She didn't want to have anything to do with him during her pregnancy. They were fine before she was pregnant and they went back to being fine after she was pregnant, but for some reason she could not stand his face, his voice, anything about him while she was pregnant with me. And I know that my mom has told me that story back in the day, and I thought it was the weirdest thing. I'm like, how can you just hate somebody because you're pregnant? And I've heard of women being a lot more like standoffish towards their husbands, but for me, it was actually one of my assistants at work. And I would be really weirded out like if he found my videos. My coworkers don't really know about my YouTube videos, so I don't think that he will ever see this video. And I have a couple assistants at work, so even if he does, I don't think that he will know that this is about him. Okay, so basically, how do I say this? There was a situation at work where we worked with basically troubled youths with emotional needs and likewise. So there was an altercation where he kind of got assaulted at work, physically, but like not super bad. And I just like seriously took my time radioing in help. I know it sounds so freaking messed up, but for some reason, like I don't like this guy. I did not like him before I was pregnant, and that just super freaking escalated since I got pregnant. I hate seeing his face every single morning, and there's just something about him that just like gets under my skin. So he was being assaulted at work, and I can't believe that I'm admitting this out loud, but I was just extra slow in radioing in help. Why does that sound weird? Radioing in help for him. I could have jumped to it a lot quicker. I kind of acted like I didn't know exactly what was going on until maybe 20 seconds had passed, and then I'm like, oh, do you want me to get somebody for help? I know, guys, it's so messed up, but this guy, there's a lot that goes on behind it, but I just do not like this guy, and it kills me every single time that I have to see him and put on a happy face. And yeah, so instead of hating certain foods and stuff, it's true, you can hate a certain person during your pregnancy. Yeah, that's just me being honest, don't hate me. Number 3, how much weight have you gained so far? Okay, so I feel like I'm a little bit lucky because in the beginning, the very first trimester, that was the only trimester that I had where I was really sick, and I did have really bad morning sickness. I'm gonna say up until around 16 weeks of pregnancy. So I was waking up every single morning throwing up. A lot of you guys know that morning sickness is not only a morning thing. So I was throwing up almost 3 times a day. On average, I would say 2 times a day, at least every single morning and every single night before bed. So essentially during my first trimester, I ended up losing a lot of weight. So my starting weight was 147, and then I dropped down to 140. So I lost 7 pounds. Since then, now in my 3rd trimester, I'm 160 pounds. So it depends if you want to say that my starting weight was 147 and now I'm 160, or if you want to say that it was technically 141 because that's what I did drop down to. So I put on, technically from my real starting point, about 20 pounds, which is good. They say that you should put on between 25 to 35 pounds. I have heard of a lot of women that end up putting on like 10 to 12 pounds very like at the end of your pregnancy, like the last 2-3 weeks before you're about to give birth. The baby really like gets chubby and bulks up at the end. So yeah, currently I'm 161 pounds. and I'm 5'3". I got that question a lot. Okay, this one I saw a lot. A lot of you guys ask this. How has pregnancy changed your sex life? And I wasn't going to answer it at first because it's so intimate. It's such a personal question. But to be honest with you guys, I feel like I wish that I had a video like this to watch at the beginning of my pregnancy, because it's kind of like something you're embarrassed to ask your friends or your parents or your mom about. I mean, in some instances, no, but I know me. I was just like, are these things normal? So since becoming pregnant, 100% my sex life has changed on my end and on my husband's end. So I'm gonna start, I guess, basically first, how things have changed for me. And it's just 100% like my stamina or my energy. I get out of breath so easy, and besides that, I fall asleep like this when I lay down at night. So if I have to choose between staying up and, you know, doing stuff with my husband or falling asleep, 9 times out of 10, like I just feel so tired at the end of the day. Being horny is the last thing really on my mind. So it's like really hard for me to just get in the mood. All I'm thinking about is sleep and relaxing. And yeah, it's kind of been a little bit hard for me to like get things started at night. I think in the beginning I felt really guilty about that, because I've always heard of pregnant women being like really in the mood and it's the best sex that you'll ever have while you're pregnant. And I'm like, that's like the last thing that I want right now. I literally just want sleep. And when I do try to go ahead and have sex, I have a really hard time just lasting, like keeping my energy up, because I'm just so exhausted and so out of breath, and my heart rate is going crazy and I'm sweating and I'm sorry, I'm trying not to give you guys like a visual here, but yeah, sex has not been that amazing since becoming pregnant. And as far as my husband, and I did a bunch of research on this and I read that a lot of men do feel this way. It's just a thing about the baby being there in between us. And sometimes it just like kills the moment is all I could say to you guys. You know, it's like awkward. It's not just you and him anymore. There's a baby between you. Sometimes the baby moves. And it can just be like a buzzkill. You know, you can just like randomly think of the baby and what is the baby feeling right now. Your heart rate is going up. You're breathing heavy. How is that affecting the baby inside of you? Sometimes I will try to put like a little pillow on top of my belly, because I tell him, you guys, this is such a TMI, but I'm like, during sex, the last thing that I want you to do right now is touch my stomach, because if you touch my stomach, like Sahara Desert, like that is just don't, it's a buzzkill. Don't touch my stomach. Let's not talk about the pregnancy or the baby during sex at all. And sometimes that's difficult. So yeah, it's something that we laugh about now. We know that it's just like something that's temporary, but it's a little bit difficult, because I do feel that sex is an important part of a relationship, of a marriage, of feeling that connection, that intimacy with your partner. And it's something that's a little bit different during those 9 months. So it is what it is. Once I've recovered from giving birth, I will take my butt over to Victoria's Secret, get some sexy lingerie, and spice things back up. Has pregnancy affected your marriage in any way? How do you keep the spark going? I would say that it definitely has affected my marriage in a couple of different ways. Good, and I'm not going to say bad. It's just things that are a little bit more difficult. I'll start with the difficult first. Since like the nature of my work can be a little bit violent, it can be a little bit of a dangerous situation for me to be in, my job immediately put me on disability. So I am getting paid, but I have to stay home. And when I say I'm getting paid, my paycheck was cut directly in half. So I am making half of what I'm used to. So pretty much everything has gone on to my husband. He has to carry the entire load, and it's been a lot on him, but I will say it's been such a positive, because he's proven so much to me. So I loved my husband before we got pregnant. We were together for about a year, and I was head over heels absolutely in love with him. But I will say that after becoming pregnant, I fell 100 times more deeply in love with him, just because of the way that he takes care of me, the way that he never stresses me about finances, about how much he works, about things being done around the house, about how much our lives have changed and is going to continue to change. He just never puts any stress on me. He's been such a rock, and I get nightly massages, he cooks for me, he cleans, he does laundry, and he's really just picked up where I've kind of slacked lately, because pregnancy on a woman is not easy. I have had no choice but to just slow down. I am on certain restrictions, so I cannot lift more than 10 pounds. So right now for me to do laundry is really, really difficult. I get super lightheaded when standing for too long, so washing dishes at the sink is really difficult, or even just cooking dinner, and he's helped me so much. It's just shown me what type of man he is, and I feel so thankful to have him in my life. I always say that if I was to have a daughter one day, that I want my daughter to be with a man exactly like him. So even though the pregnancy has caused a few stressors that were not present in our life before, I do feel like our current situation has proven so much to me. And as far as keeping the spark alive in my relationship, I just feel like this pregnancy has brought us even closer. Like, we are bringing this little baby, this little human being into the world together, and it really is a partnership. And anything that I lack, he has, and vice versa. We really keep each other strong. We've worked together amazingly as a team. I feel like the families have gotten closer together, and I don't really feel like we have to work on the spark because of the pregnancy. I definitely feel like the pregnancy has just brought us even closer together. Okay, let's see. The worst pregnancy symptom so far. I'm definitely going to say just the lack of energy. It's really tough when your body is doing things that you are not in control of at all. It's been really difficult for me to have to take it easy, because I'm the type of person that I wake up with a lot of energy in the morning. I write to-do lists. I'm very much like that type A personality where it's like bam, 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 bam. I need to get this done. I overanalyze, I overplan, and sometimes my body will just completely stop me. I need to take a nap in the middle of the day. Like, my body will just completely shut down. So the only thing I'm gonna say that's been difficult during the pregnancy is the lack of energy. But I do want to say that I feel like my pregnancy has been so like smooth sailing and easy compared to what other women have had to deal with. It's been a little bit tough now that I've hit the 3rd trimester, but again, I don't want to sound like I'm complaining at all, because I do feel like I've had a relatively easy pregnancy, and I feel very blessed at the end of the day. Next question, I definitely got this one a lot. How are you preventing stretch marks? So from the very first week that I found out that I was pregnant, and I found out that I was pregnant at 6 weeks, I have been doing this. So I have it down here, and it's a little bit hard for me to bend down. Let me get it. Ooh. Okay. Okay, I did so much research on what is the best thing to use to prevent stretch marks. A lot of people had success with organic coconut oil. So that's basically what I use every single night. It's a solid, but then when it has the heat of your fingers and your belly on it, it turns into an oil. It is super greasy, very emollient. So this is not something that I like to apply in the daytime, but every single night before bed, I apply my coconut oil. Okay, and this is what I use every single night. I'm trying to hold it to the side so there's not a glare. This is the Palmer's coconut butter oil. No, what is it? It's the cocoa butter formula tummy butter for stretch marks by Palmer's. And this is what it looks like. It's just basically a really thick putty. Mine looks weird because I have to like dig in with the back of my nail to get it. So I actually bought this the very first week that I found out that I was pregnant, and you guys can see that it lasted me my entire pregnancy. This was like $10 at Target, definitely worth it. And so far, no stretch marks. Has this been on a friggin' tilt? Has this camera been tilted the entire video? Oh man. I do want to say that I have applied this as well as the coconut oil on my boobies and on my nipples and on my hips and on my butt, also every single morning and every single night, trying to prevent stretch marks all over. And towards the end of my pregnancy, I'm trying to moisturize the nips because I heard that they could crack and bleed and you know, be really sensitive throughout breastfeeding. So I'm trying to get them in good shape before that. Okay, the first symptom that you might be pregnant. And this is perfect because I was just talking about my nipples, and that is exactly how I knew that I was pregnant. I felt the most excruciating pain in my nipples and my breasts when I was first pregnant. Nothing like the soreness of your boobs when you have your period on the way. It was like the most excruciating, like tender, horrible, throbbing pain in my boobies, and my veins in my boobs got really, really big. That was the first sign that I knew that I was pregnant, because I'm like, something is off, something is weird. These babies are like big and engorged, and what the heck is going on? So that was definitely my first like little sign that I was pregnant. Next question is, shaving down there hard? Oh my God, you guys, yes, 100%. I thought that shaving my legs were going to be difficult. No, 100% shaving down there. And you guys know, because of past videos that I've done and because I tell you guys everything, that I like to get rid of absolutely everything down there. And I will say that it is almost nearly impossible towards the end of your pregnancy. Yeah, I basically just had to do it like blind. Like, I cannot see anything. My tummy completely covers that area. So unless I'm using like a little mirror, which that's just too much for me to get that involved, I just basically have to wing it. And I think that I've actually gotten pretty good at it. So yeah. And last but not least, any insecurities about becoming a mom? And honestly, you guys, I'm gonna say that yeah, there is a little bit of insecurity because it's a complete life change. I know that my life as I've known it for the past 30 years is going to be completely different. My life is not going to be about me anymore. My life is about to be, or is already now, about my child, about my baby. With that being said, the fact that I'm 30 years old, I feel like it definitely was time. Some of you know that I had like a little bit of a spiritual thing happen to me right before I became pregnant, that I had a very, very strong feeling like God came to me and told me that I was just ready to be a mother. I feel like God came to me in a dream and basically prepared me for this moment. And I feel so excited, but at the same time, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous. I've never been a mother before. My husband has never been a father before. We are both completely new to this, but I know that we're gonna figure everything out together. I have such an amazing support system around me of family and friends and you guys, and I definitely know that even though it might be a little bit of a struggle and might take a while to get into the swing of things because I'm not a pro, I definitely know that I'll figure it out, and that we'll figure it out, and that I have the best times of my life ahead of me. That's the honest answer. All right, you guys, and that is going to be it for this video. There were so many more questions that you guys sent in. So if you guys want me to do a part 2, definitely let me know down below. If you have a specific question that you want answered that you did not see in this video, you can also feel free to ask your question down below. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye. I'm back. I forgot to show you guys a little bump date, so let me show you my little belly. And sorry that the shirt is kind of see-through, but you know, you guys weren't really seeing the bottom. This is what my belly looks like that. A lot of you guys have asked to see my actual belly, so I have no problem showing you guys my belly. This is what my little baby looks like, my little junior. It is early in the morning, and I feel like my belly definitely does kind of like protrude out more, like the more the day progresses on. But yeah, this is what he looks like. You guys can see that I have a little bit of that that dark line that some women get, which at first I was like really upset I didn't want it, but now I think it's kind of cute. And there's my belly. 50 more days with this little guy inside me. Oh, he's so cute. Alright guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.